Welcome to Weeping Willow Homestead. Today I have a slightly different video type for you. I did this back in the spring where I showed a list that we make every year of free or very inexpensive things to do for fun. A lot of times people are on a budget like we are, where we don't have the money to go on vacations or to amusement parks or even things like the zoo or the aquarium or, those type of things are out of our budget. And so I try to come up with fun things for us to do as a family so that we still get to do some fun things and make some memories, but also save some money at the same time, or at least not spend the money. So about 6 months ago, I showed you our spring and summer fun list, and this is an overview of the things that we got done. You're going to notice I put some sticky notes on here. I choose, for privacy's sake, to not give out our names or where we live, like where we're from. We live in the Midwest. That's the best you're getting. So I have marked off the things like these are the town names for two towns near us that had splash pads. This is the name of a state park that is somewhat near us. It's about a 45-minute drive. And I've marked off like our names for birthdays. So yeah, I just do that for privacy reasons. Sorry if that offends you. That we live in a crazy world. So I'm choosing to protect my children as much as I can while still doing a YouTube channel, which is fun. So you can see out of 36 things, we missed getting 10 done. So 26 things, not bad. I felt like we did pretty good for having a very busy summer. We had lots of stuff going on, and some of those were these things here. But we had so much fun completing this list, and we made a new list for this year. So for this season. So I always do the 2 seasons because they overlap so much. There are things that we can do in the fall and in the winter. So I just make one group list. It's generally these things are things that are too cold to be outside for the most part. There's some, but yeah, you get what I mean. So we have 3 birthdays, 3 kids and my husband's. Making a giant leaf pile is always a fun one. It gets the kids out and raking leaves. We do have a leaf blower that was gifted to us a couple of years ago, so we pull that out. And then when we're done, I take all of the leaves and put them in the garden for the chickens to work into the garden over winter and mulch. So we get a double bonus out of that one. It's work and play. We will do a backyard fire and a backyard camp out at some point in time. I love fall camping because I love being cold at night. So when it's like 50 degrees as the low, I am quite content to camp out. Friends over for dinner was always a fun one and inexpensive or cheap because you can they can bring sides and you provide the main dish or whatever. Or you can do like a soup, salad, bread to make it inexpensive. Living room camp out is always a fun one where we maybe bring in the sleeping bags or put mattresses, air mattresses, whatever you have on the floor, and you stay up late and watch a movie and sleep in the living room, which is just kind of a fun thing. My oldest son also has a small, like 2-3 person tent that fits in our living room, and so he will randomly set it up throughout the winter and invite one of his siblings to sleep in the tent with him for the night. We like to put up Christmas lights. We have bought very slowly Christmas lights over the years on sale, like when they're like $1 a box. And we just do simple, basic, just kind of the front of the house. I like to usually kind of screw together a 2x4 cross and cover it in lights and put up. It's just something that brings us so much joy. And yeah, it's a little bit on electricity, but usually it's not bad. If it changes our electric bill by $10 for the month, I would be surprised. A snowy woods walk we have. Our property has no woods on it, but our neighbor's does, and he allows us to come out and play in his woods anytime we want to, and so a walk in the snowy woods is always so beautiful. Do puzzles. We like to get out. We usually set up a card table in the house at some point during the winter, and I get out big puzzles, like 500-piece, 1,000-piece puzzles, and we will do as many of them as we can over the winter. I think last year we got about 10 done. So that's just something free and fun to do. Our library has puzzles that you can borrow. And then also just check with friends and family. If you don't have a whole lot of puzzles, ask, hey, can we do a puzzle exchange? That would be a fun thing to do for the friends over for dinner, is say, hey, you guys bring some puzzles and we'll do an exchange of puzzles, and then you get new ones without spending anything. We also find puzzles at thrift stores quite often. And yeah, you may run into one or two pieces missing, but it's not the end of the world. The thankful tree is something that we do every year for Thanksgiving. So starting November 1st, we will either do like a paper chain, and every day each person gets to write something that they are thankful for on a chain, or I will use construction paper in fall leaf colors and cut out just super simple like leaf shapes like that big. And we'll write one thing to be thankful for, and then I just draw a big tree on a piece of brown paper. We're talking like a 5-foot, 6-foot tall tree. I bought like newspaper paper in a giant roll from a thrift store forever ago. But you could also do it like tape multiple pieces of brown construction paper together or something like that, or brown paper bag from the grocery store, and just draw a giant blank, like no leaves tree on it, and then do that. So that's a couple of ideas, and it just reminds us to be really thankful that month, kind of helps us count our blessings. Play on a playground is a super simple one. We oftentimes get to the playground during the summer, but don't during the fall, and so it reminds us to get out there and play. The Jesse Tree Devotional is very similar to the Thankful Tree. We actually have a couple different versions of this. One of them works through stories from the creation story all the way up to Jesus's birth, and kind of just touches on all of the main characters of the Bible up through Jesus, kind of all of the people that had to be in order for him to be. And then we also have another one that is the names of Jesus, and it is, each one has a name of Jesus, like Redeemer, Healer, Great Physician, those kind of things. And then it has the Bible verse that goes with it. And both of those I found for free just Googling Jesse Tree Devotional or Names of Jesus Devotional, and found them on online for free for the ideas of them. And then I just had to make the things, usually using like cardstock or construction paper. And that also can be something that you can do, is every day your kids get to sit down and make the ornament that goes with it. And then once again, for that, I usually just draw a Christmas tree on paper. We do not have a big house. Our house is very small, so we do not have room for an actual Christmas tree, which is fine, no big deal. But you could do like one of the little mini Christmas trees, real or fake, or you can use them on your regular Christmas tree. Or like I said, I just draw one of on that brown paper that I've got, a giant Christmas tree with markers, and then just tape them on. So, quick and easy. We obviously have the holidays: Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. We always do something fun for Valentine's, where I make construction paper pouches and write everybody's names on them. I give the kids stickers to put stickers and decorate them, and then we hang them on our mantle. And then from February 1st until Valentine's Day, they get to color pictures, write notes, little gifts, and tuck in each other's pouches. And then I usually end up putting some candy, like a Valentine's pencil, something like that I've picked up from the Dollar Tree. And then the day before, I sit down with each of the kids, and everybody writes a note to everybody else that says what they love about them. And then on Valentine's Day, we open our pouches and we see what we got, and we read the notes from each other, and everybody just gets warm and fuzzy, feeling on just a day of loving on each other, which is so much fun. Pumpkin carving is we get together with family and carve pumpkins. It's kind of a big deal that my family does. This light show it's a community one that is put on by a relative of ours, and it's like the synchronized lights, and you can totally Google synchronized light show or light show to music, that kind of thing, and come and find ones in your area that are generally not a huge drive. This one is down near our family, so we just go down and spend the weekend and then pop over there while we're there. Build snowmen, build a snow fort, go sledding, snowball fight, kind of all of the traditional winter snowy fun things. Obviously, if you live somewhere where you don't get snow, those won't work, but I'm sure you can come up with something fun to do. Build a giant blanket fort. This kind of is the same as that camp out in the living room. A lot of times we do the same thing. I will pull dining room chairs. I will pull any extra sheets, clothespins, like clips, clips like you used for paper, those kind of things. And we will build like a giant blanket fort, ruin the entire living room kind of thing. It's over the couches, over the chairs. And then we usually leave it up for several days and let the kids play in it. We'll have picnics in there. We'll climb in there and read books or play games. And we just kind of make a big to-do about just making the living room useless. Board game day is another great one that you can do multiple times. Pull out board games, and usually what I do is I let each one of my kids pick a board game, and we just play board games all day. This is a great Sunday afternoon activity as well. Hike blank trail. This is a trail near us. It's a national trail, and it's a beautiful woods trail. We love going to this in the spring and then in the summer and in the fall so that we can see the color changes and see how it looks different. It's a gravel trail, so we can bring bikes, but hauling all of our bikes there is a pain. So usually we just walk it. Hot chocolate and cookies is always a classic. You could do baking Christmas cookies. You could do baking goodies and then giving to neighbors. Anything like that that's similar to that. Watch Christmas movies. So initially we had all of these listed on this, and I ended up redoing this because we couldn't fit them all. We have added to our list. So I made a separate list. So these are some of the Christmas movies that we enjoy watching. I did leave space for a few more in case we come up with more. A few of these are new. I know I've watched the Nutcracker when the kids were little, like my oldest ones were little, but it's been a while. I don't think any of my kids have seen A Christmas Carol. If you have a version that you like, please let me know because there are so many of them. Several of these are old movies like Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We're talking like 60s, 70s era movies. And then obviously some of these are new. The Grinch, we usually watch the cartoon and the real life version. And then these are ones to check from your library to see if they have, because some of these, like the older ones, you can usually find on YouTube and watch them for free. Some of the newer ones, the Nativity Story is one that our library has. Some of them you can catch on TV, like just on we don't have satellite or cable, we just have like an antenna. So sometimes you can catch them on there. But yeah, we just enjoy, a lot of times we'll watch movies on Friday nights. We have Friday night pizza night, and so we'll watch a movie. Some of these are shorter, like the Frosty the Snowman isn't like a full-length video, so we might watch a couple of them at once. And a lot of them we end up watching more than once. And I know there's a couple on here that everybody else watches, like Elf. My family's just not a big fan of it, that kind of thing. And one thing that's interesting for us is that we actually don't I don't know how to say it. We don't do Santa Claus. We've never taught our kids Santa Claus. No judgment if you do. By all means, that's your family, your choice. We just chose never to do that. But we still like watching the Santa Claus movies because my kids just see him as another fictional character. It's just another thing. We don't do the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy either. They're just characters. My kids know who they are, that we just never did do them. We kind of try to focus Christmas on Jesus and his birth and that kind of thing. So, yeah. So what are some other things that you guys do during the winter or the fall and winter that are free and fun? Obviously there are some things that are less expensive that you can do, like a lot of the orchards around here have hay rides and, I'll think of it here in a minute, corn mazes and pumpkin picking. But when you have 5 kids, that can get really expensive, like really expensive. If we were to go and just pick pumpkins, it'd probably be $50 because they're usually $10 a piece or around that. So yeah, those are options if you've got the budget, or like a lot of times churches will do hay rides or will do fall activities as well. So you can check into those, check into your community and see what the prices are. Some of them run deals for homeschool groups or church groups or something like that you can get a discount. But yeah. So what are some other fun things that you do? Because I would love to, look, we have more space at the end of this list. We have 8 more things. I would love to add some more on there. We never, ever finish the whole list. That's not the goal. The goal is just to remember to do fun things and to remember some of these things that maybe on a dreary, nasty, cold, we're snowed in day, the kids are going crazy, and I go, okay, wait, we need to stop and do something fun because we're all kind of got the winter blahs. And so that's when we'll pop up that giant fort in the living room, or I'll say, you know what, let's not do school today. Let's play board games. So yeah, that's kind of the way that we do it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye and God bless.